She tried to kill him.
Could a marriage actually be so bad that you would attempt to murder your husband by putting Drano in his lemonade, little by little? Wow.
Marriage is all about trust. Am I right? Spouses trust spouses on matters as big as love itself and as small as our morning lemonade. Jack Chen used to trust his spouse with his lemonade and everything else. But a while back, he started feeling sick and he had a strange chemical taste in his mouth. So he set up a nanny cam in the kitchen in their Irvine, California home. And this is what he found. That appears to be Chen's wife, Dr. Emily Yu. She is a dermatologist, and that is seemingly her caught on camera with a bottle of Drano. And it sure looks a lot like she's pouring it into her husband's lemonade. Chen set up the camera 3 different times in 3 successive weeks and says he saw the same thing each time. Okay, so if I were a defense attorney, which I am, clearly not, I would say something like, well, it's a container. I myself have used a Windex bottle and I've had water in it. How do we know that it was actually Drano that was in that orange container that says Drano?
Well, again, this is a video that on 3 separate occasions, Dr. Chen was able to capture his wife methodically going under the kitchen counter, getting the bottle of Drano out of the sink, walking over to his cup and putting a dose of Drano. This is not a fatal dose. She was putting enough of it over time that he developed the symptoms he got diagnosed with earlier this summer. So he became suspicious after that diagnosis, set up the camera. Ironically enough, the first camera shot he was not comfortable with because it only showed there was a cutting board in the way. So it only showed her pouring the Drano into something. On July 18th, the second time he captured her on video is the one where you see him before administering the dose. He takes a sip from he'll call it his morning tea. He put saran wrap over that cup and left the room. And a couple of minutes later, that image you're showing right now, he puts that cup down. He is there covering it with saran wrap. And after he left the room, she walked over, uncovered the saran wrap, poured in the Drano, put the saran wrap back on top, put the Drano back under the sink, and sat back down at the table as though nothing had happened.
She tried to kill him. So he started to have unusual symptoms back in about the spring of this year, March and April, and went in to get checked by a doctor and found out that he had some physical effects and started to then connect the dots.
Aside from the chemical taste in his mouth, Yu's husband was diagnosed with stomach ulcers, gastritis, and inflammation of the esophagus. He then set up the cameras in the kitchen here at the family home in Irvine and made the discovery, according to his lawyer, Stephen Hittleman. Jack Chen filed a restraining order against his wife, who also goes by the name Emily. She is now out of jail. In the paperwork, he alleges longtime verbal, physical, and emotional abuse, which extends to their 2 children. Quote, if our children let Emily know that they enjoyed spending time with me or showed affection toward me, then Emily would put them in their room and yell at them until they assured her they would not show affection toward me. Jack Chen has filed for divorce.
Domestic violence is real and deadly, and it happens to men and women. Get out if you can, when you can. I'll see you in the comments, beautiful people.